Greetings, one and all. A little look at a shoe, because I know from the comments that one or two of you enjoy such videos. One of you there, and another over there. These are manufactured by Crockett Jones, whom I prefer for some reason or other, whatever. English shoemaker, Northampton, along with a lot of the others, Churches, John Lobb, Grenson, Greens, Edward Greens, quite a few in Northampton it seems. These are called Padstow. Crockett Jones seem to name their shoes after various towns in England or the UK, and these are no longer available, though they might come round. I've noticed they seem to cycle, drop some shoes, and then they come back and keep things changing a bit. Anyway, what I'm going to do is have a close look and basically show you what I notice about these shoes, which I think they're a little unusual to my mind because of this French suede, I think it's called. More of that when we look from above. I'm going to tell you how I came across these. These were on an auction site, and there's a little bit of damage, a scuff here, which we'll see close up in just a moment. And they were set at a low price, and nobody else bid, so I got them. Okay, looking from above then, let me tell you what I find, well, slightly unusual. The other, or a version of these that I saw, were with a single leather sole and a kind of lighter construction. So I wouldn't exactly call them dainty shaped. There's something about them that I think is quite, doesn't perhaps go so with a very heavy construction, which I'll show you in a minute. They are, I wouldn't say they're tight there, but they're snug. They're size 10 compared to my others. I can wear them all day, no problem. And they have stretched a bit, but that takes a while because they're really quite soft but substantial leather. Don't know if you can see. Let me move my other light. This is the kind of suede. As I say, I think at the time they were listed, they were mentioned as French suede, which has got some burnishing there from where my trousers rub. Really, the construction here is very, as you can see, very substantial. This is the Itshide sole. They also use Danite and Browne, which is lighter. These, I think, are the heaviest. Itshide Commando, does it say? Commando style, yes indeed. Stones get stuck in between there, I can assure you. So, a very heavy construction, which is very unusual. Well, I find unusual for a suede and for a smooth suede like this. Again, more burnishing around the back there. Now, I was a bit concerned. I think, I'm going to have them rehealed. And yes, I am. What I was wondering was whether this actual heel sits on another block, because if you wear down into that block, then when you have them rehealed, obviously they have to replace the block underneath as well. It gets more expensive, so it's best not to let them wear down too far. But looking closely, it looks to me like it's this whole unit here, from here to there, is one unit. So I imagine they will take them off there. I can't see. I thought I could see, but I've cleaned them up and I can't see a line there. So I imagine it's not too much of a disaster, but obviously they're in need of some attention. I would send them back to, or I will send them back to Crockett Jones, or take them back in London, because my experience of other repairers, or the kind of local ones for shoes like this, is I think it's worth sending them back. For instance, one person said when I did send them back, he said, oh, they've put this heel on just from there, but actually you need to take this out and remove, they're nailed or screwed or nailed from there, and then you put a new Crockett Jones cover back on, which obviously your local shoe repairer probably isn't going to do. Looking inside, these are leather lined. Let's see if we can get inside. So you can see there's lining there. That is not the inside of this is another lining. And if I can get the light right, you might be able to see that that lining goes all the way in. See, there's a little bit there where it's the actual inside of this leather, but this lining here goes right the way through, round about there and all the way. Let me just show you the difference with these are Goodyear welted, as you can see, with the stitching there. So something else which perhaps is a little unusual perhaps is for such a obviously outdoor construction that they're not storm welted. What does that mean, you ask? Let me show you. This is a pair of Crockett Jones Pembrokes, and you can see here that that is the storm welt. See that lip? There's the stitching for the welt, or stitching to the welt, and there's this part of the welt, storm welt, that comes up here, which they say stops or reduces, I would say, the ingress of water, and makes for a rather even heavier look. So that you'd kind of expect on a shoe like this. Incidentally, this is a day-night sole. So you can see this is really going for it. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You can see on this one, where here there is a leather stack, there's a rubber sole and then a leather stack or small stack there, and then the rubber tip on top. So if you wear through that edge down into this leather, then that has to be repaired or replaced as well. Whereas I don't think, as we showed on this one, that that's the case. So there we are. That's about it. Crockett & Jones. Oh, the bit of damage. Well, I've just noticed another bit, which I probably did. As you can probably see, it's here. I did take them into Crockett & Jones and say, is there anything that can be done? It was only the person behind the counter. When I say it wasn't a repairer, it was a salesperson. And they looked at it and said, I don't think so. But I shall mention it when I take them in for the heel and see if that can be maybe filled. Though we have a saying in England, probably all over the world, which is leave well enough alone. If I bought them new and did that to them, yes, it'd be quite upsetting. In fact, I've got a pair which I kind of did that to, which I'll show you some other time. But for the price I got them, and knowing that it was well photographed at the time, I mean, what am I going to say? So use them as, I wouldn't say rough, well, pretty much for what they're designed for, as you can see. So that's what I use them for. I think that's about it. Again, perhaps a little bit dainty looking compared to this very classic Pembroke shape. Or are they? I think so, just a bit more, just a little bit through there. A little bit daintier than this, I think. A little bit narrower just there. Okay. See you next time.